000. Oh, am I supposed to go first still?
Yeah.
Okay. What's up, guys? Jen here with the Otakuology podcast with my co-host
Do you want to
Mike.
re-record? You want to re-record?
No, let's just leave that there. I don't know why I thought that we were gonna ult out and you were gonna do it. That's why I started going 000 because I was trying to make you laugh before you had to go. What's up, guys? And I was like, oh shit, wait, I'm
I
the one
thought
that's
you were
supposed
gonna
to.
lead us in, so that's why I didn't say anything.
I should have went. I should have went 000. What's up, guys? 0.
Yeah, I thought you were gonna lead us in because I was like,
That's
"Hey,
fine.
do you want to lead us in?" You were like,
That's
"Okay."
fine.
So that's why I didn't say anything.
I was in a different time space for that moment. So everybody's gonna be like, spacey. Yes, very spacey.
Yeah, so true.
So,
What's up?
nothing much.
How's it going?
It's good. I'm kind of dreading. I'm dreading a little bit of the future because I I have to learn how to sew a little bit. Hand
You have to
sew.
learn how to. You have to learn how to sew.
I have to learn how to hand sew.
Why?
So I got this bag the other day that's just like a gray kind of messenger bag and
Uh
everything. And our topic today, talking about cons and whatnot,
Conventions, you mean?
conventions, yeah. So I went to one
Mm-hmm.
yesterday, and I bought like 8 different patches
Mm-hmm.
um, to actually sew onto my messenger bag. Well, then I realized too, after getting them and getting home and everything, that I don't know how to sew.
Well, you can get
So,
like iron-on patches too if they're
so
iron-on,
I don't know.
or
So
you could just take like what I used to do. I would take like safety pins and safety pin them to my bag.
yeah,
Like I would safety pin the patches to my bag.
I don't know what I'm gonna do just yet.
Okay.
I was thinking about something like that, but I was like, oh, I think I would break them off at some point.
Yeah.
Um, just because I kind of throw my bags around. So I'm trying to. I was gonna ask the wizard, which if anybody listening knows, whenever I talk about my mom, I always call her the wizard, just because she's
Yeah.
infinite knowledge source.
Uh,
And she actually knows how to sew. And so when I got it, I kind of had that, and then I forgot that she had told me Friday that she's actually going back out of town. I was like, oh shit, now I'm gonna have to learn how to sew.
I mean, it's not that hard. You could probably look up like a YouTube tutorial or something like that. You know?
Well, I just know that I'm just gonna hand sew them on, so I have to figure that part out. But
Yeah.
before I even get into that, I have to figure out the layout of it,
Mm-hmm.
because I got a Mortal Kombat one, the little symbol with the dragon in it.
Yeah.
Fucking love Mortal Kombat. I got the White Wolf Stark's little wolf symbol
Mm-hmm.
for Game of Thrones. I got my Harry Potter house, which is Ravenclaw.
Mm-hmm.
Um, I got No Face from uh, Spirited Away. Um, I got the little tattoo symbol that you put on stuff for demons and everything for supernatural.
Mm-hmm.
Um, I got a little Mandalorian symbol where it's the Raider, the alien looking thing with the tusks.
Yeah.
And then I got like one other one. So I kind of wanted a little diverse symbolage on my
Okay.
bag, but
Okay.
I was just like, fuck. Now I got to learn how to sew these things on there.
I got you. I got you. You know. But
So
how was your week?
it's pretty good.
Yeah.
Got a little more recording done on the Gravity Falls podcast. I'm about to move on to my next TV show since we're done with season 1
Are
of
you gonna
Gravity
take like
Falls.
a break at all, or
Well, the good thing about pre-recording things so far ahead is that you already kind of take a break to finish
I
things up.
have to say, I think we've recorded more bonus episodes than actual episodes of our podcasts.
Oh, I agree.
I don't know if that's a good thing or a bad thing.
I
You
think
know,
it's a good thing. At least it shows that we're always working. So
I think I'm gonna space mine out and do it like once a month, twice a month,
okay.
type of thing. Yeah.
Well, so the other thing I would really like that I think just because of when listening, because I don't like listening to my own. You know, you usually give me feedback on that. And I listen to yours, and I usually love the ones that you do.
Why?
Um,
Why is that?
I just like hearing like your opinion on it.
Uh,
It's kind of like listening to our buddies over at Trains, Planes, and Comic Books.
it's planes, trains, and comic books.
Whatever. You said it wrong the
It's
last time too. Okay.
uh,
um, but I like listening to it and hearing your opinion and stuff like that. Versus like whenever you and I like pregame and talk about things and go, okay, well, what do you think about this? Oh, okay, well, hold on, maybe we can spread some spice on this area right here. Oh yeah, yeah, I didn't even think about that. Like because there's so
yeah.
much behind the scenes that you and I talk about, and hearing something that I know we didn't talk about before is actually like really refreshing. And so, but like some of the TV shows and stuff that you watch that I'm not like so interested in, I'm like I would like to hear like your stuff on that, because I like listening to you when you do the comics. So
Well, I mean, the comics are taking up. It's gonna be taking up my time for quite a while. It's over like 150 something issues, and
right,
I think I what was like issue 7. I did a couple weeks ago, a
right,
week or two ago. Yeah. So yeah, I haven't had time to record those, so I've been kind of procrastinating and stuff about it.
right.
But
And
I gotta get back on it.
I know some of our stuff that we've been doing, we kind of shoot from the hip, but
True. That's true.
so but and I mean, I know. Did you finish Sweet Tooth yet?
No, no,
You had to
not
you had
yet.
to take a little break.
I just been busy.
See,
Like I've been busy working on my YouTube channel.
right?
So
I saw the
yeah,
Fist of the North Star video.
yeah, it was crazy.
So
It was a crazy read, but I enjoyed it. I enjoyed it quite a bit.
yeah.
Um, I was really surprised that it was a 2-in-1.
Oh
Like
yeah.
it's a 2-in-1 like volume, unlike um Soul Eater or Full Metal Alchemist, which is 1.5 volumes. Who gives you 1.5 volumes?
Don't
That's
ask me
just
that. Don't ask me that one.
like what kind of like I was looking at it, I was like, oh okay, I got 2 volumes, so I got a whole story arc, and then I got another story arc, and it's moving into something else,
Yeah.
Fist of the North Star, and I'm reading like Soul Eater, and I'm like, this is a horrible place to end it. Like, why would you end it like with the hip hop zombie guy?
Right. Did
I was
anybody read this beforehand? I mean, come on.
yeah, like come on, like
You
that's
could
not
have.
a that's not a to be continued spot.
Right. Surprise. Who's
Yeah,
Sid?
yeah. So
Goodness.
I read that, and then I filmed my manga haul for this month.
Yeah.
So I did that. I haven't put it out yet because you know how people are like, oh, you got to wait till the end of the month to put out your manga haul.
Right.
And I'm like, I'll probably just put it out tomorrow.
Right.
I don't listen to what people tell me to do.
Yeah.
You know?
Oh no, for sure. I'm still waiting for you to finish Sweet Tooth and then to actually finish Lock and
Yeah.
Key
Well,
because
I
I
even
want to
started Lock and Key.
I want to get into the what we think of like the comic aspect of knowing like that compared to the TV aspect
Uh,
of it.
well, I've never read Lock and Key, so I can't say yes or no
We
to
can
that.
we can we can cliff note it.
I mean, I would love to really read Lock and Key. It's on my list of things to get. I haven't even started the TV show.
Right.
But I kind of been holding off on Sweet Tooth because Kathleen likes it. So um, we've been watching it together. So I didn't want to like watch ahead with her. without her
Yeah.
type of situation. But I did get the complete compendium of Sweet Tooth, the comic book.
Hate you.
I I got it for Father's Day.
Definitely hate you.
I got it. It's like you can get just a cheap compendium. It's only like around like $30-$35 on Amazon.
Yeah, and that's the full story, right?
Yeah, because I was
Okay.
looking at it and I was thinking about getting the library editions, like the big deluxe editions, which
Yeah.
there are three of those. But this is you get all like 40 something issues in one book, and it's a soft cover. And I'm not a huge fan of soft covers when they start to get real thick,
Right.
just because of how they might not last as long, or over time, over like a reread or something like that. So
Right.
that's why I usually tend to go with hardcovers, because the binding is better. But from what I've heard, it's not a bad size, so you might not get like creasing or bending on the spine.
Yeah. Yeah.
So I mean, I'm looking forward to digging into it and diving into it. Um, just reading it for fun. Probably not going to do it for the podcast or anything like that. But
Until I buy it.
until you buy it, then I'm like, okay, let's do
Podcast.
this. Let's do this.
So, so I mean, we're recording this right now on 6/20, which is Father's Day and
It's
whatnot.
Father's Day.
And so the funny thing is my mom still keeps with like the traditions and stuff,
Yeah.
and so she kind of bought something for Grayson for me,
Uh huh.
and it was supposed to be here yesterday, and I'm kind of like running through my head like, what exactly did she get?
Yeah.
Because I don't really know, and it's kind of funny with my mom. Sometimes she surprises me because it might be
Uh huh.
like a volume of something that I didn't know that was a comic that I'm like, oh my god, this is
Yeah.
cool, or something off the wall like that, and I just
Mm-hmm.
never know. So I'm kind of like trying to figure out like what it would be because she hasn't told me. I'm like,
Yeah.
is it going to be something for like the podcasting,
Uh huh.
or uh, is it going to be like something else? Because I know she's heard me talk about Sweet Tooth, so I'm like, what if it would be that or something too? Like that would throw me off.
Yeah.
I'd be like,
Well, I mean, it wasn't something I was expecting, because usually, like Kathleen will just like pick something off my wish list,
yeah,
like my Amazon wish list. And I'll be like, yeah, just surprise me. There's sometimes where she didn't surprise me, because I guess there's a feature on Amazon where
yeah.
if somebody takes something off your wish list to buy it, it removes it from your wish list. So there have been times where she's bought things for me, like for my birthday or whatever, and I'll go on my Amazon wish list, and I know what's on my wish list, and something won't be on there, so I won't be surprised when I see it.
You'd be like, I can't believe you got this.
Yeah, yeah. So yeah, but I mean, it's cool. Like it's I like being surprised, and I actually like getting something that I actually wanted
So,
versus.
so let me ask you this though.
Uh huh.
It's kind of in the same vein of thought as this. So, on TikTok, I see a lot of people put their Amazon wish
Yeah,
lists and stuff out. For
yeah,
a time there was a thing where you were like, I'm going to get you something on an
yeah,
Amazon wish list, and I was like, I don't know how to do that.
yeah,
I don't really have mine filled out. Like, how do I do that, Mike? And I had
yeah.
to ask you how it was done. So,
It's not that hard to do.
but seeing everybody do like their wish lists and stuff in like their profile things on
Hmm.
TikTok. Like, what would you feel if like a fan like bought you something and sent it to you? Do you just go, I don't know why I have this package?
Okay, so well, one, no, I wouldn't want somebody to do that,
Right.
because one, I don't want people to know my actual name and where I live. I'm pretty private about like what town I live in, what like I don't tell people my actual name. Only my close friends know like
Right.
me. That's why I'm like, hey, I'm Otaku Mike. I'm not going to tell you my last name or where I live. That's why I say I live in Texas. Texas
Right.
is a big state.
Right.
You know, I I don't I don't like the aspect of making a wish list and putting it up so people can buy stuff off for me, and I don't even know the people who are buying it. I would just feel bad about accepting it.
That's true. I mean, I feel the same way, especially when I couldn't say anything to them.
Yeah, it's different. It's different when it's like my family goes onto my wish list and then picks stuff out for me. Because I mean, to be honest, like I'm a hard person to buy for. You know,
Yeah.
so like if I tell you what I want, I'm like, here, just go buy something off my wish list. I don't care what it is, just buy it. It's obviously something that I want because it's on my wish list.
Right.
Where I have a problem with this, and I saw this online. It was for a manga TikTok person. Can't remember what their name is. I'm not going to put them on blast, but they were like, "Hey, I reached like 500 followers, so hey, I thought it would be cool if I made a wish list, and y'all might buy me some manga."
Yeah. It kind of seems like lowballing people.
Yeah, and I responded with um the nicest way possible. I'm gonna have to say no to this. Manga is not a necessity. Obviously, you're able to buy manga because you're doing manga hauls.
Right.
I don't think it's right for you to be like, "Hey guys, buy something for me." You know,
Right.
you know. It's just
Right.
I don't like that. I don't like that at all.
Right.
You know.
No, I think the only thing that I would do in that regard is if it is somebody like that I'd gotten to know
Yeah.
and we live in the same town, they're like, hey, I bought this movie. Do you want to watch it together? Then I'd probably be
Yeah.
like, yeah, sure, yeah, we can watch it.
Yeah. That's just something I don't like. I don't want nobody to like buy something for me. Now if it's like a friend of mine and they're like, "Hey, I found this cuz I know you were looking for it. Do you want me to pick it up for you?" I'll gladly, pay them back for the shipping or the cost of said item.
Yeah, that's when you give them you
Uh,
give
uh,
them, you give them access to the OnlyFans page. You you go just look at the mic stuff on there, okay?
Otakuology podcast does have an OnlyFans, but there's nothing on it at the moment
that people know about.
that people know about.
What was that one video? Oh, it was me stepping on some manga to see what was happening. Okay. Goodness.
I just gotta crush the manga between my toes.
Yeah, let me. I'm gonna.
I'm gonna sit here and sit on this manga. But yeah,
Hashtag squish.
squish.
Then you
Yeah,
could do the whole thing. I do not want to be identified as a person anymore. I want to be identified as a squishmallow.
yeah.
Oh
I
my
mean,
god.
like, I don't like that. I don't even like to use the term like fans because I'm just a dude.
Right?
I'm just a dude who puts out content. I'm nobody special.
I always start singing the song from uh, Good Burger
Oh,
whenever people say stuff like "I'm a dude," he's a dude. Because it's
yeah,
true. It's true, or I do the thing from Scrubs, I'm no Superman.
yeah. I'm not like one of those YouTubers who like thinks like highly of themselves.
Right.
I'm just I'm just a normal guy. I'm not sitting here up on my pedestal. You know, you know, thinking I'm like the hot shit. I'm just a dude, and I.
Sorry, I had to whistle at the dog.
Sorry about that. Jin had to whistle into the microphone and let his dogs in. What was I talking about?
You're talking about our OnlyFans and how people
Oh,
can send you things to do on there
yeah.
for
No, I
a
mean, I don't.
price.
I don't know. I don't know how to explain it. I just don't. I don't see myself as one of those people. You know?
Yeah, asking for stuff.
Yeah. It's just not me. I don't.
Yeah,
I'm not one to like ask for like a handout.
that's true. I agree.
Yeah. Yeah. But now, if you want to shout me out, that's cool.
Definitely.
But yeah.
Definitely. So, the one person that I've been talking to on and off or whatever actually was at this thing too. And they were like, "Hey, you should shout this thing out, shout out your podcast and everything." And I was
Hmm.
like, I forgot to bring business cards.
Oh.
Damn it. But
So,
then I
anyways.
realized that the only business cards I had, so I
Uh
think I'm
huh.
going to start looking into that for the podcast a little bit and
Uh huh.
seeing between Arkansas and Texas cons and stuff that are open,
Yeah.
and see if we can how much a booth is and kind of advertise from there.
Yeah. So let's get into the whole conversation now, since we've been like a 20-minute conversation about stuff.
I mean,
Uh,
we faded in and out, so I think we did
yeah.
good.
So let's talk about conventions. Um, Conventions are cool. What was the first convention you went to?
Oh man, I don't remember the name of it. I just
Yeah.
remember it was horrible.
What was it?
It
Where was it?
was it was like right in the middle of my state in our capital, Little
Uh huh.
Rock, and it was at like a Holiday Inn or something right there.
Yeah. Yeah.
And it was actually their like big meeting room. It wasn't like anything else. It was a big meeting room.
Mm-hmm.
And it was shitty. I mean,
Yeah.
it was really
Yeah.
shitty.
Yeah.
So back in the day, I used to play card games and stuff. So that was going on there. Video
Mm-hmm.
games were going on. A couple of sellers were there. Uh, a couple Dungeons and Dragons games were going on,
Yeah.
and some other stuff. And it just kind of seemed like if you took like AniCon and DragonCon and smushed them together as well as it is, and they had this really fucked up child,
Yeah.
and
Yeah.
and you wanted to put it in basically this little box that was
Yeah.
enough for about 60 people or so.
Mm-hmm.
It was just really like shitty time.
Yeah. Yeah,
Um,
I feel like a lot of cons nowadays, even if they're like say like anime centric or something like that,
yeah,
a lot of them end up being like catch-all cons to where like you have all different kinds of like nerddom in a con, all the different kinds of like Star Wars, Star Trek, Doctor Who, all video games, stuff like that.
right,
I feel like there's no real specific con anymore. Even when you do like anime cons, um, you'll still have the weird like one shot panels where it's like, let me explain to you what Doctor Who is. Who is the best doctor? Or
right.
whatever. It's weird. Like my first con that I went to was actually in the town I live in, and it's a con that's put on by our college here.
Lucky.
Our college puts on a con, and when I first went to it, um, it was I'm not going to say what the name of it was, um, but I'll tell you what the name of my second one was. Uh, it was on campus, so it was in like the student center, and it was okay. It wasn't bad. We had to go to a lot of different places to get to like the different panels and stuff.
Yeah.
So remember we did like we I got to meet, which was pretty cool. I got to meet what was her name? fuck, I can't remember. It was an anime voice actor, and now it's gonna haunt me that I don't remember what her name was. She was an ADV voice actress, so she was like from Houston. Um, I got to meet her, and that was really cool. And I met the lead actress from a show called, I think it was Dead Like Me.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, yeah. I met her, and I was like, I looked at her picture, I looked at her, looked at her picture, looked at her, and I got her autograph, and I was like, man, did something happen to her? Like, she looks nothing like her picture.
Right.
I didn't
It,
want to be mean, but like, I didn't know if she was like coming off of like a bad like drug thing or something, but it looked like she was on like drugs or something.
oh man.
I don't want to assume. I don't know what her lifestyle was, but yeah. So like, we would get like people to come. They would get people to come, and then eventually they moved from the student center to like a hotel in the area,
Yeah.
and but it was cool. I enjoyed it. I ended up buying like, I remember this specifically. I don't have it anymore, but I bought a replica of Cloud's Buster Sword
Jillian.
from Final Fantasy VII, and I walked around with this huge sword. It was made of like wood. I I don't know why I bought it. I just really wanted it. Like, it was so weird. I remember I took like a bunch of money and I
You
bought it.
still have it anywhere?
No, I think it broke or it fell apart. It was one of those swords you would see at like a con where like, we have these replicas, but then like the replicas are actually like poorly made, you
Yeah.
know? They're not like actually like well crafted. They're kind of like, oh, the sword's kind of like glued to the hilt, but it's made of metal. It's not. It
Yeah.
wasn't like they were like the cheap swords that you could like wear and stuff, and then people be like, oh, I need this like Kirito sword or something. I don't know.
Right.
But I went with my friends, and I bought some stuff. It was cool just to experience it and hang out with my friends, and that's what I really liked about it. I think I bought like a couple of comic books there, like trade paperbacks maybe. I can't remember exactly what I bought. It was a long time ago. But I feel like there is a difference between a small con and like a major city con. Cuz like I think it was the year after that.
Yeah.
I think Spider-Man 3 was going to come out. That's how long ago it was. uh we went to Houston and they had Comic Palooza. And Comic Palooza is like one of the biggest conventions in Texas. It's a pretty big convention.
Yeah.
Um, I think they moved around like several times. Uh, and I went there with my friend Sean, and it was our mission to meet Bruce Campbell. We wanted to meet Bruce Campbell because
Yeah.
Bruce Campbell was going to be there, and we waited around. Like, we did all kinds of stuff. We went to like uh, was it a panel about how to build your own droid, but the people running the panel, one of them didn't show up, and the only person who showed up, he had like a half built droid, which was like just the head. It was terribly planned, not good.
That's
But
horrible.
I don't remember what else we did, but I remember that specifically. We went to a droid building panel, and it was not a good panel. And then we like waited around and got something to eat. One thing that I really enjoyed was getting to see all the different stuff, like that I could not afford, because at the time I was in college and I had a limited budget. My budget was like $60,
Right.
and I think it cost me like $30 just to get into the con.
Oh no.
It was expensive. At the time, it was expensive. I don't know about now. But I ended up, one thing I really enjoyed was actually my favorite part of going to cons is going to artist alleys and
Right.
buying art from people. and like hanging it up in my room, or just supporting them because they just make cool art, But we ended up meeting Bruce Campbell, which it cost like $50 just to get his autograph, which is not bad. But we
Right.
got to see him, meet and greet him, and we got to. I met Xander from Buffy the Vampire Slayer.
Yeah.
Yeah, I met Xander, which he was coming off of like I think a recent like release, like arrest release,
Hmm.
or maybe I think he, a prior like release, like he was in bad shape, but he needed the money at the at the time. I
Oh
guess I
man.
don't know. I met him. He was a nice person. He was okay. You know. Uh, but yeah, I met a bunch of cool people. Then we it was like an all day thing.
Yeah.
It was crazy. And then one that I will always remember because I went with my friend Brian, and we went to my friend Brian and his brother Alan. We went to the Austin. It was in Austin, I think it was. I think it was the Austin Comic Con, or it was like Wizard World Austin or something.
Hmm.
And we went there, and it was like the most fun ever. I met like Greg Horn, who is an artist. He does a lot of the like hot girl comic covers. If you ever seen them, you'll see. If you ever see a Greg Horn cover, you know what it is.
Yeah.
So it's like hot girl. I'll have to show a picture that I bought from him. And I met like the guy who does all like the Marvel Zombies stuff, and I got to meet Tori Wilson from
Upset.
WWE,
I'm so upset.
and I met Lita next to her. Lita was next to her. She was cool. I met I don't remember what his name was. I met Chewbacca and Lou Ferrigno, which was pretty cool.
Yeah.
But one of my weirdest um, meetings was I went to the restroom, got to the urinal. Nobody else was in there. Somebody comes up next to me. I peed next to Billy D. Williams. And I look over and I was like, and he looked at me. We made eye contact. He said hi. I was like, what? And I was like, oh my God, it's Billy D. Williams.
Right.
And he was like,
That's funny.
yeah, I know, that's me. And I was like, you're from Star Wars.
Oh my god.
And he was like, can I shake your hand? He's like, you got to wash your hands first. So I met Billy D. Williams in the bathroom.
Goodness.
Yeah. I have
That's
another
crazy.
I have another experience, but I'm going to save that for later because I'm going to let you say. I want to just tell me about your con experiences. Like,
So
what do you go when you go to a con? What do you like to do? What do you
so most of mine I feel like you would put in that category of small town cons,
okay.
which I hate because I'm like, if it's our capital, like, why the
Yeah.
hell are you gonna have such a small thing there?
Yeah.
But when I was in high school, when I went to the shitty one, the only thing I really remember getting to do that I thought was cool was I got to meet Johnny Young Bosch and his band.
Oh, yeah, you
Uh,
met Johnny Young Bosch,
yeah, so like the
the
voice
Black
actor for,
Power Ranger.
yeah, yeah, I mean that, and he was the voice of Ichigo from Bleach,
He
and
was
did
he
a
was
couple
he
other,
was Vash from Trigun.
yeah.
Yeah,
So I
big
mean,
voice actor.
yeah.
Yeah,
So and I mean, I don't know if he's just having a bad day or whatever, but that kind of killed my thing of wanting to meet celebrities and stuff, like,
yeah,
because I don't know what it was, but it was like, yeah, man, I can give you this stuff. I'll sell you one of my CDs. We'll sign it for you. All
yeah,
this other stuff, and it was like both of them kept hitting on my friends, which like they knew because they asked ages. Like we were in
yeah,
high school, and so it's kind of weird. I mean, I kind of got that almost like creeper factor to it a little bit, but I don't know because that's who they were paying attention to
Well,
more.
I mean, if you want to get like, I don't want to like say anything, but like, I mean, Johnny Young Bosch's fan base is the female crowd.
Right.
Like Johnny Young Bosch is like he's gonna go out. He's gonna pay more attention to them because they're gonna, buy more stuff from him. It's kind of almost like a business thing because he's there to
Yeah.
make money. He's
Which
not. No celebrity is there just to hang out.
right. Which I mean, I don't even feel like that really. I feel like because of most of the characters he's done, he would be more targeted towards like guys and stuff because
Well,
everybody wants to be the
he
hero.
also did like Lelouch from like Code Geass,
Right.
and
Which
stuff
I
like that.
think I think that might have been like pre before that
Okay,
this con. So I mean, it was weird.
yeah,
It was really weird. So that kind of like killed my hype. Because
hmm,
some of my other parent figures actually go to like Dragon Con every year and some other
yeah.
stuff. And I've seen like signed autographs of different people that I've been like, oh my god, I wish I could do that.
I mean, it's cool. I like getting things signed from people and meeting them and stuff.
Yeah,
Like because like when I went to the one in Houston, I met like Rob Liefeld,
yeah,
who made like X Force, and he made Deadpool, created Deadpool,
right,
and I got like X Force #1 signed from him, and then I went and met J.H. William III, who did an amazing run on Batwoman, and like
right,
I wish I could go back and like get those autographs because I don't have them anymore because I had to like sell my stuff,
right,
and that still like pains me.
yeah,
Like I still have those experiences in my head of like meeting them, but like I don't have the physical thing anymore because I was forced to like sell my comic books.
right,
That's one
right,
thing that I would love to like go do again is like meet these creators.
right. Yeah,
Yeah,
I mean, my parents have books. My
yeah.
adopted parents have books full of all that stuff.
But I mean, I think it's cool to meet like
Yeah,
voice actors and stuff like that. It's
but
all cool.
I really think that just that one experience really put into perspective for me, kind of like everybody's human out trying to make a dime, kind of, sort of.
Yeah, yeah,
And it just put a bad taste in my mouth. So usually, if I go to a con, if the person wants to engage in a conversation, then that's fine. But if
yeah,
not, I'm not like, oh my
yeah.
gosh, let me.
You're not gonna like force them to do it.
Yeah, I'm not gonna be a fangirl,
Yeah, because like
about it.
a lot of them are a lot of them. It's like that's their business as well. They'll
Right,
make money off of that and good money sometimes.
right,
So they'll continue the convention circuit because they know like their fans are out there and they're willing to get things signed by them or meet them, you take pictures with them. So
right.
it's not like a they're not going to sit there and do it for free.
Right. And I mean that's kind of what I feel like. Like you're not going to do it for free, but I
Yeah,
feel like if you're talking to anybody, like you're going to make a big impression.
yeah,
Like one, I talked to one person yesterday, and we just got in one of those random ass conversations in life, and
who was it?
started talking to people. It wasn't anybody like notable or whatever. It was
Oh,
just a person that lives in that area.
okay,
But I started talking to him or whatever, and like, you know, brought up like, hey, I have a podcast, and I've done
hmm,
YouTube before and all this other stuff. And this person was just like, you could see like the glow in their eyes, like kept lighting up every time I was talking to them. And they're like,
yeah.
oh my god, you're kind of like a online celebrity. And I'm like, no, not really,
No, no, not really.
not really. I said until the
I don't consider
podcast,
myself a celebrity whatsoever.
yeah,
No,
until the podcast blows up or whatever. And
I
then
don't even know if I would consider my celebrity then.
yeah, I mean, I don't know. And then one of my friends that went with me talked to this other person I'm talked to one of their friends or whatever, and they came up and like kind of was in this prank of saying, "Hey, are you Jen Graves off of YouTube or whatever?" And I was like, "Yes." Like that really awkward, like,
Oh man,
how the fuck
oh
do you
man.
know this?
That's weird because like a couple months ago, like I was at like Barnes and Noble,
Right?
and like I actually got noticed.
Right? See, that's so sad. Like, I feel weird about it, especially like if you're not. And it was all a joke, so I mean, I was a little hurt after
Mine wasn't a joke.
that.
Mine wasn't a joke, and
Oh my gosh,
it
are you
was.
a different
I
person?
wish I could remember their name because they were another YouTuber,
Yeah,
but it was such an awkward experience
yeah,
to be like somebody watches me and somebody enjoys my content,
right.
and then they just talk about me to me and like different things that I've covered, and
Yeah,
it was like a weird like out of body experience because I don't consider myself a celebrity or anything like that. I don't feel like my channel necessarily makes or has an impact on society as a whole, but to this one person I did,
right,
It was so weird. So weird.
right. Yeah. No, I mean, I feel the same way. It's kind of like, oh man,
Yeah.
how many people, and it's different than like people that you like advertise yourself to, like at
Yeah.
work or something else like that. Like other people that I know have been like, oh, okay, I joined the your podcast or whatever because we talked
Yeah.
or whatever. Like you talk to that person, it's
Yeah.
different. But when you have some rando that comes up and says something, you're like, what?
Yeah. Yeah.
So
Yeah. I know.
yeah, oh
so
gosh.
so when you go to cons, do you ever go to like the panels at cons or do anything at the cons? Or you just shop and look around?
So that was one of my things that before the show I had to ask you about. Remember what that word was because I've heard some of them called forums and stuff, and so I
Yeah.
100% sure.
Yeah.
What the main lingo was for it, I've only been to a couple.
Yeah.
Um, but I've never been to one where they've actually had panels.
Oh, really?
Yeah, so that was kind of my other big shock about it because my imagination of going to one is that there is a panel there. There
Yeah.
are multiple ones. There's things that are not just, hey, I'm sitting in a corner
Yeah.
and
Yeah.
I might have to.
Usually they'll be off in like a separate room, and usually you'll have the guests speaking at the panels for like
Yeah,
whatever subject they're a part of or they're talking about. And then we'll have like fan panels with like people who are fans of something and they want to sit there and talk about something for like an hour or 30 minutes.
right. No, I think the biggest one I've seen, which was the one I went to yesterday,
Uh-huh.
and the biggest thing that was there was they had the voice actor for, I guess, the Raphael Ninja Turtle
Mm-hmm.
in the TV show for kids,
Mm-hmm.
and they had somebody else also dressed up as him
So
that you could take pictures with, and they had a
did you
standee that had the
did you
background.
did you sit in the panel and
It
like listen
wasn't
to?
it wasn't a panel. It was just
Oh.
a, hey, take pictures with this person,
Oh.
and they actually had a scene like set up for you to stand in there
Oh.
and a background and stuff. That was like the biggest thing I would have to say that I've ever seen
Oh.
because I've never went to one with a panel or anything else like that.
Yeah.
I've never been to one that actually had like, you watch some things and you have the ones where they have the dance party like later on that night or something
Uh-huh.
like that. Never seen that.
Yeah. You never
So
seen that? You never been to those?
no, I've never been to
No,
any of
you never
those.
did like a costume contest or anything like that?
No, I at this one I kept hearing something. Somebody kept getting on like a microphone or something and saying, "Hey,
Yeah.
there will be a costume contest," but I couldn't exactly understand like
Yeah.
because it was all done in this one room and it was lined
Mm-hmm.
with just people selling stuff and
Yeah.
stuff like that.
That's usually
So
how they are. I like ones where like I get to go to a panel and like listen to people talk.
yeah,
That's what I usually go there for. And I usually then I'll like go around the dealer's room and like buy things that I like or something like or if I
yeah.
find interesting. But
Well,
I
I
mostly
feel like
go there for the panel experiences and to hang out with my friends.
honestly the biggest celebrity thing that I heard yesterday, besides
Uh huh.
like the actual celebrities that were
Yeah.
there, were the people who kept telling me stuff
Uh huh.
was talking about one of the food trucks outside. That was probably about the biggest thing I heard people talk about.
Yeah.
But they had like two different Power Ranger guys there. They had the Turtle guy, and then they had
Yeah.
one other guy that played like side characters or something in a bunch of different TV shows.
Oh yeah.
And so I thought that was pretty cool.
Hmm.
But I mean, no, I've never been to a
Yeah.
actual like big
Have you
con.
ever had like a bad con experience?
Yes,
Like we
multiple.
like we just like didn't have fun?
Yes,
Yeah.
multiple. Yes. Most of my bad con experiences are usually if one of my friends was like, "Hey, let's go," and then they ran off because of other friends being there or something like that, and
Yeah.
then it's just you kind of, "Hey, I'm here with a bunch of booths," and
Yeah.
like I don't want to spend that much. So
As I've gotten older, like I don't go to that many cons. I don't have the time.
yeah,
But like as I get older, I see like I don't know, my mentality shifts kind of, and I'm like, am I too old to go to cons?
right,
Because cons seem to be like a young person thing. And there's a lot of like young people hanging out, doing nothing usually
right,
because they can't afford anything. They're just hanging out in the hallways or something like that.
right. See, and I think that's kind of another thing that I realized with most of this was me growing up, like my parents, we would
Hmm.
they would do kettle corn and stuff at like oh, what do they call it, like
Flea market.
the Memphis flea market, I think, is the one that they did, but they had
Yeah.
one in Arkansas.
Yeah.
And so my parents would do that. They would do the kettle corn and everything. So I'm kind of used to that atmosphere. Like you walk around, you're pretty fucking bored if you don't have money,
Yeah.
like unless you have somebody to hang out with or whatever, like it's really boring.
Yeah.
So I mean, I feel like into my adulthood, I've come to realize that like if I'm not getting in a good conversation with anybody or anything like that, like I'm just kind of bored the whole time.
Yeah.
Now yesterday was like the first time I attempted to dress up, but that's like an ordeal in itself. I don't know.
Yeah.
I did see some cool stuff, some other cool costumes and
Did you get
stuff,
a lot of
but
good pictures?
I hardly took any pictures.
Oh.
Yeah. Now, I did have somebody with the little group of people that I was with ask if all of us, because we all looked dressed up, if all of us would take like a picture for them, but I don't know where that picture was going.
Oh.
And I was sitting there and I was like, after the person walked off, and I like couldn't remember what they looked like. I was like, fuck. I should have been like, hey, when you tag that, will you also tag the Otakuology podcast with that too, please? One of its members was at at uh this con yesterday. Okay,
Yeah.
so
So I've never really had like a bad con experience.
yeah,
Um but I no, I guess maybe I did kind of. So like back when like my kid was born, like a con was like that week or something like that. Like it was like around the year my kid was born. I
yeah,
really wanted to go. And I went, and her mom would like constantly like hound me and be like, "Hey, when are you done? When are you gonna come home? This and that." And
right,
I'm like, "Don't you understand what like a con is like an all day thing? Like I paid money to be here. I'm
right,
I'm gonna like get my value out of this like 20, $25, that I spent for a day pass.
right.
I'm not. That was probably one of the like worst experiences because then she ended up coming up there and like I didn't really want to like spend time with her
Yeah,
because I was there with my friend and like we weren't like in like the best relationship.
be like, quick, let's lose her.
Like it wasn't the best relationship. I don't want to get to like relationship advice, like a relationship
Right.
topic, but it was just not good whatsoever. Like
Stay tuned later for our another exciting episode where we talk about
it was
relationships.
just not good. I had to drag my kid everywhere, and
Yeah,
it sucked. It sucked.
right.
Yeah.
Oh man, yeah, no, definitely. I
Yeah.
uh, I don't know. I mean, it's on my bucket list still. Like when I find something that I consider like a true con,
Yeah.
but I don't know.
Our
I
friend.
I really feel like honestly my first time
Yeah.
actually like feeling like a con as a con will be one where it'll be something else notable that I
Mhm.
do, or with the podcast where you and I have like a
Our
have our own panel, you know.
our friend Jason from the Yes, This Is a Podcast. He actually will go to our local convention,
Yeah,
and he will like live stream podcast all day from it.
right.
Like it's crazy. I did go to a con in our town. It was like a new con, and it was so cool. I met a bunch of cool people. I
Yeah.
got to meet Booker T.
Oh my god.
I got to meet Booker T, which was awesome,
Yeah.
and it turned out like I was looking forward to like the con coming back. So it was actually a really good con. Like it was well
Right.
put together. Turns out the person who put the convention together like didn't ended up not paying any of the people who like came to the con,
Oh
like
my
any
god.
of the celebrities.
Yeah.
So they like went after him like in like lawsuits.
Oh my god.
Yeah. So we did
That's
not have that
crazy.
convention come back to our town.
That's crazy.
That was also the convention I we went to where we went on a Kathleen and I went on a date to the convention,
Yeah. Well,
and
that's cool.
we went on a Sunday. And if you know what Sundays, usually with small conventions, Sundays are like the dead days.
Right.
So we kind of like walked around, bought a couple things. We got to see a world premiere of like this indie movie. It's like
Yeah.
indie horror movie, which was not good whatsoever. It sucked.
Oh
So we only
man.
got to see bits and parts of it.
Do you remember the name of that?
No, I don't. I
You'll have
don't.
you'll have to see you'll have to see what it was and see if we'll both watch it for the
It was
podcast.
so.
We're
It
gonna
was.
watch we're gonna watch this movie for the podcast, guys.
It was so bad.
Hey, there's some golden B movies out there.
No, it was like below a B movie.
There's one that like I have to watch it like all the
It
time
was
when
like
Halloween comes around.
somebody tried to finance their like student film.
Oh my god.
Yeah, it was bad.
Well, they have this one that I watch called Satan's Little Helper,
Yeah,
and it is so low budget.
like
But it's at that point where it's so bad that it's hilarious, and it makes
yeah,
it more of a comedy. And I have to watch it like every Halloween. So
yeah. It was a bad convention. It was just not good. Like they didn't have anything scheduled. So all we did was like walk around,
yeah,
and then we like bought some stuff and like left. There was one time we went to a convention where we went to this. It was a panel for people who were single and who were nerds looking for love, and it was put on by this guy. He was quote a relationship expert, and um, Kathleen and I were like already dating at the time, and we went. I was like, "Let's go to this panel. It'll be fun. Let's just go to it."
oh my god,
And his name was Doctor Nerdlove,
oh my
and
god,
Doctor Nerdlove proceeded to give us um, love advice. And listening to him like give love advice to nerds,
yeah,
he was just giving basic advice, and I was like, I already know this stuff. Like,
right.
it's just
Tell
I
him,
don't know if you
tell,
need.
tell
I
him.
don't.
You're like Doctor Nerdlove. I need to
Yeah,
stop being a basic bitch. I need I need you to
yeah,
be more.
yeah. Like it. I mean, I get it. There's like a stigma about dating nerds, and it's hard to date a nerd or something like that. But like, I don't know. It was just so weird and awkward. And there was this one girl there who was like, um, I have a problem with breaking up with people, and I constantly call them after I I like
Break up with them.
we break up. I can't get over them.
Yeah.
And I was looking. I was like, this bitch is crazy.
Oh no.
Turns out it was Kathleen's high school friend,
Okay.
and
Oh no.
yeah,
Oh no. No, 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 no,
yeah.
no.
And I was like,
That
"Oh, nice to meet you."
oh my god, you're probably sitting there like, I'm glad I'm never gonna meet that person. Oh hey, this is my friend. Fuck.
Yeah,
Damn it. Where
yeah.
where did this come from?
It was so weird. Yeah,
Oh my
because she
god.
was like sitting there like knitting a crocheting something while listening to Doctor Nerdlove
That's
give
always weird to me
love
too.
advice. You know,
If you're doing it while you're listening to something like that, it makes me feel weird. If
like
you're doing it while you're
I don't want to like harp on like nerds, but
on
I mean,
blast.
but like I don't know, just the stigma of dating nerds needs to go away. You know,
Right?
we're not all lonely people. We're normal people who
Right?
happen to have
Well,
normal
I mean,
hobbies.
like I've heard some of that on on TikTok and stuff, and some other
Yeah,
places that were jokes. But I mean, it's true. It's like, but it focused more on like a nerdy guy, and it
yeah,
goes, nerdy guys actually like focus on their hobbies. So what does that mean for you as a woman? Well, that's who you want to date. Why is that? Because the nerdy guy is going to treat you like his hobby. He's going to take care of you and do all this other stuff. You know his nerdy room, how it looks like 100% like golden and like it was touched by the gods because everything is in its own place. Imagine that guy being the guy you're dating, and it was just like, holy shit, there we go. That's the thing.
yeah,
Or even like the Gundam podcast that we did, a couple of weeks ago or whatever,
yeah,
where it's like, oh yeah, you got to make sure you clip up the excess, and you got to do all this other
yeah,
stuff. Like attention to detail was like the main purpose of it. Like, how close of attention do you focus on that? And that's what this guy's gonna give you as a girlfriend. And it was like, why couldn't you like relate shit like that? Okay,
I
like
guess.
there you go, like that works. You know,
Yeah.
like pick out the low blows and go with it. Okay, I will accept that shit. Oh, or like something along the lines of like, oh hey, this guy likes to cosplay or whatever. He dresses up.
hmm
So don't you think that he's gonna make sure like you're dressed up and you look nice because of them? Just there's plenty of nerdy things that you could like tweak in a certain way and go, this is why you want to date a nerd.
Yeah, I don't know. I mean, to each their own. You know, I'm not gonna say nerds are the be all end all. You
Yeah,
know,
I think nerds are the be
like
all and all.
Kathleen and I don't share all the same hobbies whatsoever. And we still
Yeah,
care about
but
each other.
y'all are two different kinds of nerds.
Yeah, but like, it's just so weird listening to somebody give people advice.
Right.
Like he was like a love coach. It was so weird.
Right, right. He should have turned it more into like a comical act.
Yeah, he was being really serious about it.
Oh
Yeah,
no.
it was weird. And he's come back like several times. And
Oh
I'm like, how
no.
does this guy keep getting work?
Oh no.
Yeah, it was weird. Um, but I have one story. I don't know if I told you this story.
Like ever, ever?
Maybe. Did
Never,
I?
ever?
And we could probably end the podcast with this one. Did I ever tell you about the time I met the prestige author George R. Martin?
You mean the guy that you met for The Hobbit?
The guy I met at a convention.
Yeah, the guy that wrote The Hobbit.
So, for those who don't know, I met George R. R. Martin. He came to a convention. My
Whoa, whoa,
friend really
whoa.
wanted to meet
Whoa,
him.
whoa, whoa. So are we talking about when you told me this story? Because as far as I recall, you
Well,
actually met
I want to tell the story.
you met Jay what's his face?
I want to tell the story.
Uh,
I want to tell the story. So, we're standing in this line. I have no idea who I am waiting to meet whatsoever. But apparently, this person is a really big deal. And I get up to meet him, and he's like, "Oh, hey, how's it going? Nice to meet you." Um, he's like, "What is your favorite book of mine that I wrote?" You know, and I'm like, I like The Hobbit. Did you wrote The Hobbit, right?
Oh my god.
And he was like, "No, that was J.R.R. Tolkien." And I'm like, "Oh, what did you write?" He was like, "I wrote Game of Thrones, the most successful franchise at the moment, you know, HBO special, you know."
Right.
I so he signs my my pamphlet, or my, the thing that you get at a convention,
Yeah.
and he writes to um my biggest fan, or something like that, to my biggest Lord of the Rings fan, like Jr. George R. R. Martin, or whatever,
Right. Goodness.
So I wish I still had that autograph. Um, but this was back in when, like, the show, I think, like, just came out.
Yeah.
I think, like, maybe, like, season 1 had just finished,
HBO special.
and I was sitting there waiting, and people are all dressed up in uh like fantasy like garb and stuff like that, and me being a smartass, I kind of put two and two together.
Oh man.
I was like, oh,
Lord of the Rings. Yeah, that's what it
but
is.
he made it. I made his day,
Yeah.
because he got a good kick out of me uh, thinking he wrote The Hobbit.
Oh my god. I wonder if he thought it was a joke.
And when he did think it was a joke, he actually, I laughed about it. He's like, that's
He
so funny.
he didn't know you were half serious.
Yeah. And when I said that, like, people, like, looked at me like like oh my god, did he just say that?
He's about to get maced in the hand.
But it turns out he thought it was the funniest thing ever.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Man, you probably need to see if you got any sway on that. Maybe see if we can have him on the podcast at one time.
George, don't you remember me, George?
Right.
That was also the same day where I met Ernest Cline,
Yeah.
who wrote Ready Player One.
When I love that movie. Wasn't that also the day when you got to sit in the I almost said the Mandalorian. When you got to sit in the DeLorean?
Yeah, I got to sit in Ernest Cline's DeLorean and take a picture in it.
I just thought about that. Yeah, did you get to sit in the Mandalorian? I don't know. Did I?
I have never seen a group of nerds turn on somebody so fast when they basically tried to joke with George R. R. Martin about the Lord of the Rings.
Right.
It was
I
a little.
think
It was a little scary, to
I
be
think I'm
honest.
I think I'm at that point where I'd probably have been like, "Hey, did you write Back to the Future?
It
It's really really good writing.
was a little
Like I
scary.
love that. I love that movie."
It was a little scary and funny because I didn't know what his reaction was gonna be.
Yeah.
Because honestly,
No, I'm sure like the monotonous of like people kissing your ass and whatnot probably gets to you at the point where you're like, if somebody comes up with like a funny joke, you're probably like, I fucking love this guy, right? It's
it was
great.
it was a fun day. It was fun. Um,
I'm sure
every
he I'm sure he thought you were a fun guy.
every time I bring that up with our friend Jason, because he's like, I had an interview lined up with him, and I didn't get to interview him, and you fucking got to meet him,
Right? You fucked it up.
and then you offended him saying that he wrote The Hobbit.
Right?
I was like,
Goodness.
hey, I'm sorry you didn't get to meet him.
Right.
But I did.
Right.
You know.
Too bad you didn't have the autograph so you could be like, see,
Yeah.
look, I was his biggest fan.
Yeah.
He even says right here that he wrote the Lord of the Rings.
Yeah. Biggest fan. But yeah. Anyway, that's all I got.
Yeah. So
Um. Go ahead. Sorry.
yeah, I mean that's it.
Oh.
So overall, experience, for me not so good. Yours obviously sounds pretty fucking well. Uh, so now would I go to another one again? I probably would. I hadn't been to one in a while until the one I went to this weekend.
Yeah.
Um, but it'll
Yeah.
just depend. Like I said, honestly, I feel like there's a lot of different things.
Mm-hmm.
And the inner workings, I think it would actually be pretty nice if I could
Yeah.
like set one up and have one. Call it
Mm-hmm.
the Otakuology Con.
Uh, you'll have to come to Texas because we have one in I think it's Dallas,
Yeah,
and it's like a huge anime con,
yeah,
and because Texas is like a big hub for like anime voice acting,
right.
like they have a lot of voice actors there and stuff.
So what you're saying is, if I was like a voice actor in Arkansas, I'd be like the first.
No, I'm just saying, like it would be cool to go to because I've never been to that. I think
Yeah,
it's called like Acon. I think it's called.
I think so too. Yeah.
I can't remember.
Well, I was just thinking of yesterday, like how much would it really cost if that and people are paying you like booth fees and everything else, like
Oh yeah, like our one here, like the booth fees were like astronomical
yeah,
for people, and like I remember like one year they had like lowered the booth fees because um they just couldn't get anybody because I think they wanted like I think it's like $100-$200 to have a booth,
yeah. Well,
and at a
the
small con, I don't know if that's like feasible.
right. Well, what I found out is my friend that I'm talking to or whatever, her cousin actually was working it, and so
Hmm.
I hope at some point I can actually talk to him about it and see how much and like pricing and stuff it is,
Hmm.
because I honestly feel like it wouldn't be that hard to set one up and do it out through Little Rock again and make like a better one. Um,
I think that you have to like plan them out, like extensively, like plan them out.
oh, I know.
You gotta like rent the
So
space. You gotta pay the talent that's gonna like the celebrities.
right,
They're not just gonna show up for free. You gotta like pay for their
right.
plane ticket or pay for their hotel.
Y'all can drive down here,
And
but
you gotta get
yeah,
people to volunteer.
yeah. I mean, that's just what I was thinking. Like, it can't be like that super expensive to like, because I mean, you got to outweigh the whole thing of everybody paying a booth fee or whatever is probably going to pay at least half of the other stuff.
Depending on
Uh,
what your fees are.
right.
Yeah.
So, but I mean, there was a lot of people that wanted to sell stuff and everything. So, I thought it'd be really cool, maybe planning out another one.
Yeah.
If not, I mean, at least like planning out in the future if I could get like a booth for us maybe, or something like that. Like, like I said, anything to advertise us, and maybe by then we can have T-shirts and some other stuff.
Yeah.
You know,
Anyways, guys, I hope you enjoyed this random podcast. I don't even know what we're gonna call it. But
random
next
podcast.
time we will be actually talking about some more manga. We are going to talk about Ultraman.
Yeah, and then
Even
we're
though
going to talk about the
I
movies.
think we said that last time we were going to talk about Ultraman, but this time we're actually going
Maybe,
to talk about
maybe.
Ultraman.
You know what? Maybe we should stop telling people what we're going to review. That way they don't know what we're actually going to review instead of going, huh? That's not what y'all said y'all were going to review.
But hey, let me just tell you this: Did you see that they put some Gundam on Hulu?
I did.
Did you see they put Gundam The Origins on Hulu?
I did.
Did you see they put 8th MS Team on Hulu?
I did.
Are we gonna watch those and
Did
cover them for the
did you
podcast?
see the name of the person that you were sending those to earlier in the day?
Who did I send them to?
You sent them to me, dumbass.
Oh yeah, that's right, I did.
That's why
Yeah,
I was like, why are you asking me this? You know that you send these to me full well. No, no, I was sending them to Jason. You know, Jason was the one that was getting them, not you. Did you check the name at the top of the thing? Oh, it was you. Fuck. Okay, wrong person.
and they put Gundam on Netflix.
That's true. Between Hulu and Netflix, like I think we can watch whatever, wherever,
Well,
anywhere.
they put the Gundam movies on Netflix, which are like 2 hour long recaps of the TV show,
Yeah,
basically.
yeah. I don't want to watch those.
But we might need to watch them for. And they also put Char's Counterattack up there, which is pretty cool.
Yeah,
It's a
which
movie.
which I do know like half of that stuff is on Hulu. So
Yeah, but they're putting Hathaway's Flash July 1st on Netflix.
yeah, we got a
We're
lot of stuff we
we're
need to
gonna cover
review.
Hathaway's Flash right when it comes out, right?
I don't know what that is, but okay.
That's that Gundam from Gundam Penelope,
Oh, okay, okay.
the Penelope Gundam.
Yeah,
Yeah, is
you were
in
making me think of the Flash.
no, it's called Hathaway's Flash, is what it's called. But
Okay.
it's set in Universal Century, which I'm not up to date on my Universal Century lore, so I don't know exactly how well I'm gonna fare like watching it.
You'll probably fare better than me because I'll probably just be in the middle of it and be like, "Hey, this is
I
pretty
might
good."
have to rewatch the original Gundam.
I feel like you'll be like, "Hey, do you know about the origin of da 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 da?" I'll be
But
like,
although I was looking at
"Nope."
because they had season 1 of Gundam the Origin on Hulu,
Yeah,
I was looking at the runtime on those, and some
yeah.
of the episodes are like 40 minutes to an hour long.
Holy
We
biscuits.
could, and there's like 6 or 7 episodes, I think. We could possibly get 6 or 7 episodes out of that.
That's true. We do have a
Yeah,
lot of things that
yeah, that
we
would be
can
cool.
episode out.
Yeah, but we could like do like episode 1 because it's like an hour long episode,
Yeah,
and episode 2, 3, just keep going. You know, make like a
right,
little podcast out of it.
right. Because we
You
got a
know,
lot of that stuff to talk about.
yeah. Because I've never seen Gundam the Origins, and
That's true.
I would like to watch it and talk about it.
That's true. We got a lot of things to
But I
talk about.
don't want to binge it because if I binge it, I'm gonna forget. Like if I binge something, I'm gonna forget it.
Right. Set it and forget it.
Because like the only way I didn't forget when we watched Gundam Build Fighters
Yeah.
is as I watched like 4 episodes a day.
Oh my god.
Yeah, like I would like split it up.
Right.
Yeah.
We just got to tell everybody to stay tuned because obviously there will be more exciting episodes of the Otakuology podcast
Well, I want to rewatch Eighth
coming
MS Team.
coming to them soon. I know. I would really like to cover some of the other stuff that we covered before when we actually had the YouTube page because
Yeah,
I feel like since it's fresh in our mind, fresh. I put quotations on
yeah,
that. That we could get those out of the way and move on from there. So
yeah.
because I know
Uh,
we only got so many hours a day, but there's so much that we can cover.
I know. There's we got to start working on actually possibly trying to podcast during the week as well.
Right? We're gonna have to be like, hey, so what are you watching this week? Oh, well, I'm watching this. Like with Sweet Tooth, I'll have to be like, you need to tell Kathleen she needs to get her ass the motion. She only got 2 episodes. You need to watch them, so we can podcast about it. You know,
Yeah, yeah.
or I
Actually, with
mean,
Sweet Tooth though, I'd probably just do an overall discussion on the first season.
yeah. I mean, it could be either or. I mean, I'd be happy doing one episode or whatever, or doing it here and there, or
I don't know if I want to
whatever.
do. I don't know if I want to do 1-to-1 episode. I can do. I can do an overall discussion on the first
But
season.
but if I feel like we started doing that, then we would have to probably start putting out 2 podcasts a week,
Yeah,
two main episode podcasts.
yeah. We
So
might have to stop it with the bonus episodes.
we might have to be like, hey man, uh, are you off on the 22nd of this month? No, I'm not. Well, that's a Friday. We're both going to take off, and we're going to spend like a
Well, we were
good.
supposed to podcast yesterday.
We were,
You were supposed to
we
podcast
were,
yesterday,
we were supposed,
and you
we
were
were
like,
supposed to,
"Hey, I'm going to convention."
we were supposed to podcast Friday and yesterday, and yeah. But I mean, that helps out because it helps. Well, it helps us know. It helps other people know that whenever you make plans, sometimes it's not always there for it.
It's usually always Jen's fault that we don't get the podcast. Just
No,
saying.
don't you put that on me, bullshit.
I'm putting that juju on you.
No, I'm not putting that juju on me.
I'm saying that it's usually Jen's fault that we don't get the
No, because now
podcast.
we're gonna have to review Tack and the Power of Juju. So
Fuck that.
see, look, now you're putting bad juju on the podcast. I can't believe
No,
you.
I want to talk about some fucking Gundams.
Yeah,
I
and some
want to
zombies.
review my favorite Gundam ever.
So stay tuned, guys, because I
Yeah,
think I'm working on Mike because we might have the Mitchells versus the Machines coming soon.
I've already
Yeah,
watched that.
I know. That's why I'm saying we both watched it so we can
Well, I got to
review
rewatch
on.
it.
See, like there you go, right there. As well as I'm trying to talk him into. Oh my God, it's a long fucking movie. The Army of the Dead
Oh, I've watched half of that.
with the wrestler dude in it.
Yeah, I watched half of it and I was like, I fell asleep and I was like, wait, what did I watch?
I was doing something else, but like I caught the everything in it, and I was like, oh my
It's a
God.
long movie. I think I made it like an hour into that movie.
It was a really good movie, but honestly, I agree with you. Like it was kind of boring to sit through.
Well, I gotta rewatch it because it was late at night when I watched it,
Yeah.
and I couldn't really hear it because there was like a fan going in our room, and like Kathleen was asleep.
Is
So
that cute where you had a snorer in your room?
no, it was an actual fan blowing in our room, and so I couldn't hear. I couldn't hear like what was necessarily going on, but
Yeah.
like I was just watching what was on the TV, and I was like, oh, I wish I could hear what was going on.
Yeah. Oh man.
Yeah.
So we got a lot of tasteful things that are
Oh
coming
man,
out at
Army of
some
the
point.
Dead. Oh, I might have to. I'm gonna have to have like a notebook full of notes for that movie because it's a fucking long movie.
Oh no, I would just do it. Break it up by the chapters. Take a couple notes here, a couple notes there. Because
Yeah.
I mean, it was a good movie. I feel like I could turn around
Whoa,
and
whoa, no,
regurgitate it.
don't give away the podcast now.
Oh, I know. I'm just saying. I feel like I could turn around and regurgitate it, but there are a couple parts in there where I was just sitting there
So
like,
speaking of that, did you know they're making a prequel to that
I'm done. I'm not watching it.
with the I think it's like the Safecracker,
Oh, okay.
and then they're doing an I quote anime
I'm done.
with
I'm done.
with with the
We're
with the characters like before the movie, like
no,
when with
no,
the
no.
zombie invasion.
Nope. I'm marking it
Yeah,
off.
yeah,
We're not
it
watching
just
this
doesn't
now.
sound. No, I mean, I
No, we're now marking this off the list because the last time I watched something like that was the Animatrix movie, and I fucking hated it.
the Animatrix is kind of hit or miss.
The Animatrix was horrible, like horrible.
It's okay.
There's only one other old school anime that's like that I am like I will never watch that again in my life.
Wait, what is worse, Cockarimbo or Animatrix?
Animatrix.
Because I actually kind of like the Animatrix.
No, I thought it was fucking horrible.
Okay.
I would have rather watched like Ghost in the Shell and been as lost as I always am in it than watch
Not
watch
gonna lie.
that.
Like I've watched Ghost in the Shell a lot,
Yeah.
and I still don't necessarily know what's going on in that movie. Sometimes when they talk about it,
I hadn't even seen the movie. I'm just talking about the TV show.
oh, the TV show is easier to get into.
I always get lost in it because I'm like, well, how is this?
You're talking about standalone complex, right?
Yeah, I'm like, how is this connected? I'm just,
It's not connected to the movie. It's its own
well,
thing.
no, I mean like parts of it in the show. Like you'll watch episode 1 and then episode 2 and episode 3,
So they
and
have the
they'll relate something back to episode 1. And I'm like, I don't get this. Like, what is that?
okay. So for the people out there, I'll break down Ghost in the Shell standalone complex.
Dun, dun.
So you have the episodes which are connected, and like it tells an overarching story, which is the Laughing Man story,
Right.
and then in the middle you have your quote standalone episodes that don't involve the Laughing Man story. So you get it?
I guess, but
Yeah.
I still don't like it.
It's I like standalone complex.
Yeah, no, I do too. I just have to go on a episode by episode basis, not a overall season basis.
Yeah, they did a they took all the Laughing Man episodes out of like season 1 and
Yeah,
put them on its own like Blu-ray. So
yeah,
if you want to just watch the Laughing Man episodes, you can watch those and
yeah,
just get the full story without getting the little standalone episodes.
yeah. I mean,
So
as
yeah,
long as I don't have to watch Animatrix, okay.
okay.
Like I said, there's only one other anime that I will have a strong no about watching, and I can't even remember what it's
What
called.
about oh god, what was that movie we watched?
Lily Cat?
Kekko Common.
Oh, the TV show.
There was an OVA.
I mean, I'd watch that again. That was
You
pretty
watched that
funny.
again? Yeah, it was
Yeah,
pretty
yeah. I
funny.
mean, that was hilarious.
Yeah. Okay. Anyways,
That was
guys.
that was like that panty that the panty thing that you made me watch, where it was the superhero where they put the panty over their face and they're like, ha
I didn't
ha ha ha.
I didn't make you watch that.
You were like, you got to watch this, like the
I
first
said
episode.
that one that had a disgusting moment in it.
What was that one? She
Oh, I
something
don't
with an
remember what.
S.
I think it's like Shimonetta or something like that.
See, you do know it.
I only remember it because there's an episode where the girl goes to makes cookies
I'm done.
and she proceeds to masturbate
I'm
and
done.
her love juice goes into the cookies and she feeds it.
I am done.
It's fucked up.
Stay tuned, guys. We'll talk about this on the podcast.
Stay tuned, guys, for our next podcast.
Where we talk about.
Yeah.
So anyway, guys, as always, we'll catch y'all next Tuesday. Thanks for watching. We hope that you listen and make it through this whole one because I feel like we kind of got off basis a couple times.
Yeah.
But you love us, you know us. We are Jen and Mike.
We'll probably
So
just call this random conversations.
I feel like we'll call this something along the lines of what I was stuck at a con.
Oh,
Well, I
sure.
didn't have a lot of shit to talk about, so
We'll go with that.
I made this podcast episode.
Oh god. Okay. Anyways, guys, thanks for listening. Give us feedback and stay safe.
Right. Bye.
Bye.